of January 9th, 2023. The chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Kiley, for 30 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to again sound the alarm about the rapidly advancing capabilities of artificial intelligence systems. And I will say, at the outset, that while in a sense this is alarming, it's also incredibly exciting. And the level of innovation and the expansion and capabilities that we are seeing holds the promise of making life better in countless ways for people across the country and around the world. And yet, at the same time, the pace at which these capabilities are growing has unpredictable risks as well. And we are seeing more and more people who work at or have worked at the leading AI companies that are starting to sound this alarm as well. So today, we got a letter from employees of OpenAI, former employees and other researchers. This is according to Wired's reporting. A group of current and former OpenAI employees have issued a public letter warning that the company and its rivals are building artificial intelligence with undue risk, without sufficient oversight, and while muzzling employees who might witness irresponsible activities. These risks, the letter says, range from the further entrenchment of existing inequalities to manipulation and misinformation to the loss of control of autonomous AI systems. So long as there is no effective government oversight of these corporations, the letter says, current and former employees are among the few people who can hold them accountable. So what the authors of this letter are calling for is protection for whistleblowers at the companies who bring to light information about what might be going on there that could be of public concern. Now, there might perhaps be some role for us here when it comes to the question of protecting whistleblowers, but I think there are a couple other actionable steps that we can take to try to give a greater level of attention and scrutiny to a topic that truly merits it. I will also say that I am quite skeptical of efforts that we see in several states now to try to regulate this innovation in a way that just stops it in its tracks. I think that the measures that I've seen are rather crude in their formulation, probably wouldn't work, and if they did work, would deprive us of innumerable potential benefits. However, what we can do is try to find ways of promoting much greater transparency as far as what's going on at these leading companies, so that we all can become more aware of the potential for new capabilities to emerge, or for what those capabilities are when they do emerge in the lab. And so I think it is worth exploring what sort of reporting and dialogue avenues we might be able to put in place, as well as using our ability to provide transparency and to encourage public debate here through, for example, holding hearings on what's going on at some of these leading companies, or on questions such as whether AGI, known as artificial general intelligence, is something that might be just around the corner, and what the implications of that will be. I think that given the profound ways in which this technology already is changing the world, and is very likely to do so on a whole nother level in the not too distant future, we need to have as many voices as possible participating in these very urgent questions as to how we assure that this technology continues to benefit humanity, and how we can collectively control the risks in a way that is consistent with our values. The final thing that I think we could do right now to really have a positive impact is to promote basic research, or really cutting-edge research, when it comes to AI safety and alignment issues. Today, from one of the employees who left OpenAI, made a statement saying, "These systems are not ordinary software. They are artificial neural nets that learn from massive amounts of data. There is a rapidly growing scientific literature on interpretability, alignment, and control. but these fields are still in their infancy. So these fields of interpretability, alignment, and control, there is a growing scientific literature, but they're still in its infancy. And what we need to do is try to propel that field into full maturity as quickly as possible. Because the pace of innovation is truly breathtaking right now as models are being scaled up and new capabilities are emerging. And so we need to do everything we can to encourage the research that can be helpful in mitigating the risks as those capabilities continue to grow. And that's something that we can do here. I've introduced a bill to do just that would provide grants for AI safety research, as well as some reporting back from those who receive the grants. And that is a fundamental function of government, is to catalyze research in areas where there might not be a commercial incentive. And that is perhaps the most important thing that we could do now to try to prepare us for the future ahead and to assure that we maximize the benefits while minimizing the risks. Madam Speaker, I stand in strong support of the House Transportation Committee's investigation into California's so-called high-speed rail project. Now, this project has truly been a disappointment of historic proportions. It's now tripled in cost to $128 billion, with little more to show for it after 15 years than one bridge to nowhere that was recently unveiled. The House Transportation Committee, in addition to its Senate counterpart, is demanding documents on the Biden administration's decision to allocate substantial federal taxpayer dollars on this highly questionable endeavor, when there is no reasonable path forward for successful completion. In fact, a New York Times expose found the train is not even on track to be completed this century. And a lead operator several years ago abandoned the project to build in North Africa, where it was, quote, less politically dysfunctional than California. That operator, by the way, brought a high-speed train online in Morocco in 2018. So the letter from Chairman Graves and Senator Cruz goes into some detail about the problems that have beleaguered the California High-Speed Rail Authority. It says, despite California's reputation as a high-tax state, the high-speed rail project far exceeds the state's ability to finance the project, and it is now seeking substantial federal subsidies. In March 2023, the High-Speed Rail Authority peer review group, whose job is to evaluate the funding plan, sounded the alarm. It reported on an astounding unfunded gap of $92.6 billion to $103.1 billion between estimated costs and known state and federal funding for the full San Francisco to San Diego system. So the letter is requesting documents from the Department of Transportation concerning its decision to award $3 billion more to this project and to keep it on life support, which is a concern to California taxpayers, not only because these federal funds are partially theirs, our taxes, but also because it is continuing to keep the project going so that more and more of our state tax dollars will have to go to it as well. So among the requests that are being made of the Department of Transportation is information concerning the department's evaluation of the issues facing California High-Speed Rail Authority, including but not limited to the level of risk associated with the unbid, technically challenging elements of the project, including tunnels and viaduct, the low ridership projected for the Merced to Bakersfield segment, the remaining gap in funds needed for completion of the Merced to Bakersfield segment, even after the recent awards of more than $3 billion, the lack of an independent review of the economic and financial justification for the project, as noted by the peer review group, and the large gap in funds needed for completion of at least the Phase 1 segment from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and DOT's plans to address the issues raised by the High-Speed Rail Authority Inspector General and peer review group prior to obligating funds to the High-Speed Rail Authority. And so, Madam Speaker, I have been calling for this project to end for years. It's not even clear that if and when it is ever built, it will be anything close to state-of-the-art technology. And for Californians to have to continue to pay billions and billions and $1 billion more for for this project when our roads continue to deteriorate and to be the worst, among the worst in the country, despite us paying the highest taxes when it comes to gas. It is absolutely unacceptable, and I am hoping that this investigation, which I will look forward to being part of as a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, will play a role in finally bringing the project to an end.